everyone, how's it going? Today I'll be sharing with you guys extremely simple, probably my easiest recipe to date. Easy recipe for a homemade oat milk. If you drink oat milk or you're looking for a good plant-based alternative, then I highly recommend homemaking your oat milk because it's really simple and inexpensive ingredients, and yeah, it just takes you probably less than a minute actually to like fully whip up. So yeah, definitely something to try if you're new to oat milk. If you want to go ahead and skip over, I'm actually going to talk a little bit about like just plant-based milks in general for a couple minutes, because it's something that I like to share with you guys a little bit of information on, versus like the regular cow's milk that I think a lot of us, including myself, grew up drinking. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit, and it'll probably take me, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes. So if you want to just skip over on to the recipe, then by all means go for it. If not, then here's what I have to say. Okay, so for those of you who are still on the dairy and the cow's milk, I feel like a lot of that probably stems from how we grew up, right? Like, for instance, they're still recommending in schools, and it was pretty eye-opening, like when I became a mother and then had my son and started taking him to his doctor's appointments, they still are recommending and encouraging you to switch your baby to cow's milk from whenever you stop your breastfeeding, or if you are using formula, you know, from like 6 months onward, which is really strange to me. I feel like because there's so much research out there and so much science and facts on how cow's milk is actually linked, and a lot of animal-based proteins and products in general, just linked to later on, you know, unfortunately, lots of different kinds of cancers and diseases. So yeah, like I said, it was pretty strange, but it doesn't take too much research or looking into to see, you know, what kind of companies or industries are actually funding some of this information that you're being given when, you know, like I said, you have a baby or you are in school, because I know that's what I was taught too, the whole pyramid and what we're supposed to be consuming on a day-to-day basis, our meats and our cheeses and our dairies and our milks and stuff like that. But okay, so I took the liberty of making a little chart here just on, so the top portion is going to be on our vitamins. So I feel like typically when you were to ask someone why you still drink dairy milk, apart from the comfortability, you know, since like I just mentioned, we're pretty much majority of us have been drinking it since 6 months and onwards. It's a very long time, so I can definitely see where it would be a little strange or tough to make a switch so drastic if you're used to incorporating that into your diet every single day. But also just the impact that it has on the environment as well, and things, again, just switching over to a plant-based milk will help a lot. I know you probably don't think as one individual that you can, but if you have a family, or you know, you're recommending it to friends to try and make the switch, then it's a huge impact, and even just as one person too. So anyway, I kind of digressed there a little bit. So what I was saying was that I feel like a majority of people will tell you, other than comfortability, they drink it because it's good for you, it's got lots of calcium, vitamin D, good for your bones, and bone health. That is the kind of go-to. I'm not going to say that it's a myth, because cow's milk definitely does have calcium. I'm about to show you, maybe blow your minds a little bit here, on just how much of these other vitamins plant-based milks have. So I just included a couple plant-based milks. I feel like the more popular ones, the soy milk, almond milk, and oat milk. Obviously, there are tons of others. You can throw on here, you know, your coconut milk, your hemp milk. It's all going to be the same as far as or not the same, but pretty much in par with, along the lines with the other plant-based milks, as far as lots of vitamins, lots of nutrients, and then a lot less of an impact as far as when we get later on into the environmental impact of these milks. Okay, so I just wrote down per 1 cup of cow's milk, we've got our calories, and there's obviously lots more vitamins. I just kind of included the key ones that I thought were really important that people might not know. So the calories, so 160 calories per 1 cup of cow's milk. That's going to be way more than any other plant-based milk. So you can see I've got soy, almond, and oat. You've got 90, 30, and 110 calories. And then sugar, lots more sugar as well. So 8 grams versus 4, 2.5, and 2.5. Sugars, lots more, fat. Okay, a lot more fat, calories, and sugar, right, in cow's milk versus soy, almond, oat. And iron, way less, so 0% of iron instead of, we've got 6, 2, and 4%. And calcium, so here's the big one that everyone's like, you gotta drink your milk for your calcium, right? So 30% calcium versus 40, 40, and 30. So these plant-based milks actually not only have at least the same amount, if not more, calcium than regular cow's milk. Not to mention that our bodies naturally will absorb non-animal products better. So even if it's the same on the chart, you're actually going to be absorbing more of those nutrients, that calcium, from the plant-based milk, more of it than you would the cow's milk anyway. So I'm going to say that it's less calcium you're getting from cow's milk. Okay, and then on the bottom here, I won't go over the whole thing. I kind of just wrote down like how many gallons of water it takes for your 1 cup of cow's milk that you're drinking, and it's 64 gallons versus 9 gallons, a little bit more for almond milk, 20 gallons, but not nearly as much as the cow's milk, and then 3 gallons for oat milk. Carbon emissions, way more than any of the others on here, and then also land use, like per square foot, much, much more for, again, your just 1 small cup of cow's milk. So if that doesn't convince you, I don't know what will, but maybe if you try out the recipe and you like it, then you can start home making your milk, and that would be awesome. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the recipe. I probably talked for way more than 3 minutes, but here we go. Very, very simple. You're gonna need a blender, some oats, water. That's pretty much it. The rest is just up to you. So I use the Organic Bob's red mill oats, but you can use any kind of regular oats. And I'm just gonna be filling up this tiny little glass today. So I'm gonna be doing 1/2 cup of oats and 2 cups of water. But I usually, for a little bit bigger jar, will do 1 full cup of oats and 4 cups of water. Okay. So here we go. Into our blender, I've got my 1/2 cup of oats, 1/2 cup, and some water. So my 2 cups of water. Again, if you want to do a little bit bigger, you'll do 1 full cup of oats, 4 cups of water. You don't want to soak these. A lot of people will ask if you should soak them beforehand. If you're making a nut milk, like an almond or a cashew milk, then you probably do want to soak them, even in hot water or something. But we are not going to soak these because if you do, it might get a little bit of that slimy texture. So no soaking your oats. I'm going to throw in a dash of salt here, just for some little extra flavor, and then vanilla extract. I used about a teaspoon in everything. So just a little bit of vanilla. And then for sweetener, I have a date here. I'm just gonna use 1 whole date, but if you don't have dates or you don't like dates, then you can sub maple syrup. I would sub, depending on how sweet you want it, maybe 1/2 of a tablespoon or a full tablespoon if you're doing the 4 cups of water and 1 cup of oats. Okay, and this is our oat milk right here. We're just gonna blend it up, and then we are going to strain it, and then that'll be it. super simple. Okay, so here we go, blending. And oat milk is delicious. You can have it with your granola, with cereal. You can use it as a coffee creamer. If you are going to use it as a creamer and you want a little bit thicker texture, then just go ahead and lessen the amount of water that we're putting in. Okay, and then if you have a cheesecloth, that's great, but if you don't, like me, then I'm using a clean burp cloth because you gotta use whatever you have. If you have one of these strainers, it actually probably won't work out so good because the oats will still get through it. So you want to use something clean. You can even use like a rag or something, just clean, not the rag that you wash your car with or something. Okay, and then we're gonna strain it. And that is pretty much it, my friends. And just be really patient with this straining process because it's not a mesh strainer and it's a cloth. It's gonna take a lot longer, so just be patient. You can even squeeze it out too. So I pretty much just had, I know that was a little bit of a process, but pretty much just have leftover oats in our cloth here. So I'm just gonna discard that, and then I am left with this nice, delicious oat milk here. I'm just making a small little batch today, but here is my oat milk. Super yummy. And yeah, like always, thank you guys for watching. I hope it was interesting for you. And yeah, until next time.